I was playing a point sensor weapon earlier today, and it got me thinking, wow, even a scrub like me can get this high up in X rank simply by throwing these point sensors in the right place. And that got me thinking how amazing map awareness actually is. And then I finished the game, and it was still on my mind, and I thought, that's not really map awareness. That's more like visual reality. Now, visual reality absolutely involves map awareness. But simply being aware of your map doesn't give you all the information. You've got other elements going on that tell you exactly where an opponent is. If your opponent is visible, which whenever they are pushing objective, they are, you can almost consider that as a half man down. It's not like we've got 3 people and they have 4. It's if they're pushing an objective, it's more like we have 3 people and they have 3.5. On tower, you know that this person is going to be on or around tower, usually on. Rainmaker, they glow bright. Clams, they glow bright. The only real questionable one is splat zones, and even then you can generally assume that they're by the zone if they're not pushing up into your base. But map reality is more than that. Visual reality is more than that. When you have... Now, moving over into a map I actually played, ignore the rank of S+, I know, but... I was playing a weapon that actually required skill for a few rotations, and I lost my rank. It happens. But anyways, once we go into an actual map, I just wait a little bit, and boom, we hit the map. Immediately, we can gather information. Now, playing backline as I am, my first thing is I see this trail of ink right here, right here. And know that a flank is coming. If I was actually intelligent and looked at the weapons that I would be fighting at the start of the match, I would know that that was probably a curling bomb coming from the roller. You can also tell from this trail right here that the sloshing machine has thrown a fizzy bomb and is likely to be coming up that ramp. That leaves Dapples here with going up top of the rails here, and our range blaster is making this funny little pattern right here. So they're coming from every possible angle. I've got one guy trying to flank himself, and he's about to be met by 2 people, one high, one low. He's as good as dead. Unless, of course, he can spot these 2 people who are coming in and make action on that. If he uses his map, he knows he's about to face at least one person. Now, up top here, with this curling bomb trail, now I'm not smart. Like I said, I didn't look at the weapons at the start of the match. I thought that was an explosher, and I was running to try and do something about the explosher. I come here, I miss a point sensor, I throw it again, and I check my map. Now, I didn't hit him on the point sensor, but apparently he stepped in our ink, because now I know that he is backing up. And that little bit of information tells you what you need to know about the fight. I'm going to ignore him for now. I've got another friend with me, and there are more important places to go, like in center, where there's currently a team fight going on for control. I've got one person marked, not by point sensor, but by damage, so I know that there is at least this fight about to happen. I make my way towards center. I see a blaster on that side and take him out. And that's my next point. It's not just the map that tells you what's going on. It's also small things like the visual particle effects that you see in any given map. I didn't know there was a range blaster until I saw that, and then I knew that. That tells me that I still got one person behind me. It's a sloshing machine. Killed the roller, who had backed out. And now I'm fighting the sloshing machine. Knowing and I know that I'm safe because I know there's only one person available. I can take my time with this fight. And given the positioning, I almost could anyways. But having him here, I hope helped, at the very least I hope helped my team get that score. Now, we're going to kind of fast forward a little bit. Yeah, as you can see, they're getting in, but because of, just... Alright, here we go. Grim Range Blaster has special. Grim Range Blaster doesn't. By seeing when the icons pop up, you can immediately tell who has your special, who doesn't. Now, if he'd have been smart, he'd have known that coming at me like that was going to cause me to pop my panic button. And as you can see, I always know how many people are in front of me because they keep picking up the power clam. When other visual indicators in the map include every special. If somebody on your team pops Tentamissiles, you can see the other team and where they're marked through your map, usually pretty well. If you see the shot, if you see a bunch of Tentamissiles going up in the background and they're the wrong color, you need to avoid your teammates because you can guess that they're probably being aimed at them, and a simple visual check will tell you that. But another thing that happened is when they fire that Tentamissile, you know where they're at. You saw where the missiles came up from. Depending on what weapon you have and they have, go for it. Like, let's face it, best case scenario, you just got a free kill. But there's even more to visual realty than all of that. So, when you look at the map, you need to remember all those other visual cues that you've seen. Do you know where there's a special coming from? Do you know where there's predictable paths for each weapon type? If there are a lot of Slayers, you can generally assume they're going to be up close to you. If it's a lot of backlines, probably further away. Keeping your visual realty and understanding how the map is operating is very helpful in the long run, and it will let you basically know exactly where your enemy is. But that's useless if no one else on the team knows that. And so gauging what your team knows early on in the map is another kind of visual realty, though that's more about determining if you're screwed or not, and not so much winning the game. So turf control gives you more map visuality to figure out where everyone is. Tells you if you need to jump or if you can go the long way, or should go the long way rather. Keeping in mind where point sensors are, and also if somebody's point censored, check your map because they're going to be immediately visible in that match exactly where they're at. It won't tell you what weapon it is, but if you're doing that at that point, you probably know what you're about to be encroaching on. Ink mines, of course, do the same thing as point sensor. Tentamissile tells you exactly where everyone is on your main overlay. So use your tools and know what you can see, because if you know what you're looking at, it makes the game so much easier than if you don't. It's been Dietz, signing out.